my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
What's going on, fellow Illuminators and Titan Nation? Welcome back in. I'm Lorcana Thanos, the Mad Titan of the Illuminator. So we finally have reveal season for Archazia's Island finally upon us. So how they work, very simple, is if you use them, your deck has to be those 2 inks because of game mechanic rules that your deck can only be 2 inks. So none of this tricolor, quad color nonsense. The obvious example, if you are, say, using one of the brand new single player decks coming out, let's say the Bell Beast one, so that is Ruby Sapphire, your deck must be Ruby Sapphire. If you go with Jafar and Iago, your deck must be Amethyst Steel. Plain and simple. But what we're going to do today is we're going to look at all of the dual ink cards that have been revealed. So I got all these images from MushuReport.com. If I miss sources, obviously, I'm not trying to not give credit where credit is due to websites or other content creators. It's just that's where the best quality of the images were. And so I don't have all that information, unfortunately. Not trying to snub anybody. Let's just clarify that real quick. Something else they announced that I think is really cool is that they are doing like story cards basically for Archazia's Island. And I think that's really cool. So instead of like, say, the past set for Azurite Sea, how you got the 9 cards to make up like the little picture, you're going to get like the story, like of a journal basically, for the story of Archazia's Island. I think that's really cool. But as I said earlier, we are going through all of the dual ink cards that have been revealed. And then I think going forward, I want to classify everything by franchise since there are new franchises, or we are expanding existing franchises. Let's dive right on in. We got about like 30 of these to go through. So let's jump on in. We're going to start with the single player decks. So in the first like announcement, I speculated the effect on Jafar and on the Beast, so we got clarification on those. So to start, we are going with the Beast. He is a rare, and he is a non-inkable 6 cost. It's a 5/5 for 2. You exert, you pay 2, and you banish 2 of your items to deal 5 damage to chosen damage character. I think this effect is very solid. And then to pair with the Bell, who we already went over, but we will go over her real quick. She is a inkable 9 cost. It's a 7/7 for 3 for a shift 7 that for each item in your discard, you pay 1 less ink to play this character using her shift ability. And then whenever this character quests, you may put up to 2 item cards from your discard on the bottom of your deck. And for each item you move this way, you gain a lore. So Belle potentially gets 5 lore, so a quarter of your lore, just like that. Real quick, the Iago is a rare. He's an inkable 4. That's a 4/6 with evasive 1 lore and has the new vanish keyword. And then the Jafar, got confirmation on him. He's a super rare. Is a inkable 4 cost. That's a 2/4 for 2. That says during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your illusion characters is banished, you may return that card to your hand. So let's stick with the Amethyst Steel color pairing. And we got Giant Cobra. So Giant Cobra is a inkable 3 cost. That's a 4/4 for 1. Has a vanish. And the effect is when you play this character, you may choose discard a card to gain 2 lore. So again, this paired with, of course, Merlin Goat and the White Rose is going to be very, very strong. Also, gathering knowledge and wisdom. And then, of course, you bounce with Snake, Rinse, and Repeat. Then we got a Mufasa here. I definitely am calling this that I believe it probably will get the Enchanted treatment. Mufasa is a inkable 7. That's a 5/7 for 2. Shift 5, evasive, and resist +1. So pretty good. Then we have 2 cards in the Ruby Amethyst slot. First up is Hades. So Hades is a non-inkable 6 cost. That's a 4/6 for 2. That when you play this character, you may deal 2 damage to another chosen character of yours to banish chosen character with cost 3 or less. So I feel like this really embodies both the ink identities of the color pairing that he is with, and I actually really like that from a design standpoint. Then we have Taka. So Taka here is a inkable 10. That's a 12/12 for 3 lore. It is shift 7, And during your turn, whenever an opposing character is exerted, you banish them. So obviously the Amethyst aspect is coming out there, where there are a lot of exerting effects in Amethyst. Just one card currently in the Amethyst Emerald slot, and that is Cusco. So Cusco here is a non-equal 4 cost. That's a 2/2 for 2 with evasive. And basically at the start of your turn, you choose one. Each player draws a card, or each player chooses and discards a card again, leaning into that color identity. Then we have 2 cards in the Amber Steel slot. Both of these cards are pretty interesting. So first off, we have Bolt. Bolt is a inkable 5 cost. That's a 3/5 for 2 lore shifts for 3. Bolt has 2 effects. You exert them to banish an illusion character, or when you ready this character, you gain 1 lore for each other undamaged character you have in play. So if you use Amber's color identity for healing, then you're able to get a lot off of that effect. And then we have the Troubadour. So if you don't know where this guy is from, he is from the direct-to-DVD Mickey, Donald, and Goofy 3 Musketeers film. So he fits in that archetype, but he's a very good generic card for this deck. So he is a inkable 2 cost 1, 3 for 1 with resist +1, and Singer 4. So to me, he is an upgrade over the Ursula, Vanessa. And then while 1 card in the Amber Amethyst slot, which is Pascal here. So Pascal is a non-inkable 4. That's a 3/3 for 3 with evasive. So a little pricey, has a little bit bigger body. If Ruby Sapphire is as strong as I think it's going to be, although he'll get removed pretty easily. But those are some pretty decent stats though. Now on to the ink combo I think has the most fun coming out of it so far, which is Emerald to Sapphire. So the first card we're looking at is Baymax Giant Robot, or the Hulkbuster. So he is a non-inkable 6. So it's a 5/5 for 2 with a brand new way to shift called Universal Shift. So instead of traditional shift where you say shift over a Stitch, have Robin Hood, shift over Robin Hood, this it can shift onto any character you have in play. I think that's really cool. Hopefully it's a balanced design gimmick going forward, but it's a new way to shift, and I think that's pretty cool. So what he does is when you play this character via shift, you remove all damage from him. So depending on what character you've accumulated a bunch of damage with, and then shift, universal shift, let me clarify, then instantly heal them, and I think that's pretty good. Very thick body and good lore pip total. Then we have Yokai. So Yokai is a inkable 2 cost, so it's a 1/2 for 1, and you pay 1 less to play characters using their shift ability. So the only ruling question I would have here is, does this work on universal shift? Like, is there a different distinction between shift and universal shift, or is it because it says shift in universal shift, like it applies, the Yokai's effect applies to both, would be my only question. Regardless though, even if it's just basic shifting, I think that is a really cool ability. And then one of, I think, on what reads like on paper as one of the best cards in the set, Ink Geyser. So this is a rare non-inkable 3 cost that says each player exerts all the cards in their inkwell, then each player with more than 3 cards in their inkwell returns cards at random, kind of like Mufasa, from their inkwell to their hand until they have 3 cards in their inkwell. So this is very much anti-ramp decks, so anti-Sapphire. I'm curious. I think this card will seek competitive play. I can't see it being a 4 of 2, 3 at most is what I'm thinking right now, because it is non-inkable. Yes, you could run the Inkcaster to make it inkable. But the ability to counter what these ramp Sapphire decks are doing, I think is very good. Hey there, so real quick, if you're enjoying the content, if you could do me a massive favor, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell so you get notified of when I upload new videos every Tuesday and Friday. And let me know down below what you think of the video. All right, back to the video. Now we're going to move over to our next ink combo, being Amber Emerald. And the first up is Lady from Lady and the Tramp. So Lady here is a non-inkable 5 that's a 4/4 for 2, and she ships for 3. That when you play her, you may return up to 2 characters with a cost of 2 or less from your discard to your hand. I do think this card has a lot of potential. Immediately I thought of recurring Daisies, recurring Cursed Merfolks, recurring Ursula Deceiver, the Lilos if you need something to ink back. Maybe if your opponent got rid of Piglet, the Pooh Pirate Captain, that is a good thing to get back. And then we have Perla from Cinderella here. Perla is just a inkable 3 cost, 3/2 for 1 with evasive and support. Now moving on to another Amber color combo, Amber Sapphire. We have 2 cards that we're going to go over right now. That is Restoring the Heart, of course, for a reference to Moana. That's a 1 cost inkable action that you remove up to 3 damage from chosen character or location, and you draw a card. So heal and a replacement effect. For a non-common action card, I think that's pretty solid in an ink combo that doesn't see a ton of play. Then we have Perdita. So Perdita is a rare inkable 4 cost, 1/4 for 2, and she has 2 effects. So your puppy characters gain ward, and then when this character quests, you pay 2 less for the next puppy character you play this turn. So of course, if you're going with the traditional Dalmatian pups, they'll be free. Then they gain ward from her effect. Obviously, if you say play like Rolly or Lucky, something like that, then there'll be a 1 or 2 cost respectively. We only have 1 card in the Emerald Ruby color, and that is the Mad Hatter. His art is seen on the Trove. And so the Mad Hatter here, he's a inkable 6 cost. So it's a 3/5 for 2 lore that whenever a damaged character challenges another character, you may draw a card. I think this is a very interesting ink combo. I've tried working on different variations of a deck in this color combo before. It's definitely damage centric, and so I think this card is a very, very good piece of that puzzle, but we'll have to see going forward. Now we're moving on to a ink combo. Again, doesn't see a lot of play, but I'm definitely excited to experiment with this going forward, and that is going to be Amber Ruby. We are going back to the world of Wreck-It Ralph with King Candy. He's a super rare, a non-inkable 4 cost that is a 2/2 for 2, that whenever one of your other racer characters is banished, each opponent chooses and banishes one of their characters. So for the Wreck-It Ralph racer deck, this card I think is an absolute staple for that deck. It's very cheeky. It's a way to, in a very thematic way for King Candy, get other racers, i.e. opponents, off the board, and then clear the way for your victory on the track. Then we have a Calhoun here that is a inkable 6 just for 4, is a 5/5 for 2, and is a rare. And she says that whenever this character challenges another character, you may return a racer card from your discard to your hand. So I think there could be some potential synergy with these 2 cards, but I'll have to play test it and find out. Now we're going to a color combo that I enjoy playing quite a bit, and that is Emerald Steel. The first being Mr. Smee. So we got more pirate support, and Mr. Smee here is a non-inkable 3 cost. That is a 3/3 for 1, that whenever you play an action that is not a song, you may ready chosen pirate character. So I like that it's getting around like doing shenanigans, of course, with songs and then writing stuff. It doesn't, of course, say that you can't challenge, you can't quest. So, of course, those options are there. And then we have a Pete Space Pirate, who is a super rare. He is a inkable 6 cost. That's a 5/5 for 2, shift for 4. That is while this character is exerted, opposing characters can't exert to sing songs, and your pirate characters gain resist +1. This card is absurd for the pirate deck. Obviously, your opponent's going to work very hard to get this guy off the board, but being able to say your opponent can't exert to sing songs, make them spend the resources to do that, and then give resist +1 to your pirates, I think is just absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Let's go to Blurple next. So, and with his Sapphire, they only have 1 card, and it is Sven. Sven here is an inkable 5 cost. That is a 2/6 for 1. He has Rush, and when you play him, chosen character gets -3 strength this turn. Obviously meant to give something a strength reduction and rush into it with him. Maybe the following turn move damage counters around with the Bell Accomplished Mystic, something along those lines. Now let's look at a ink combo that I've tried to make work in the past. Haven't quite got there yet, but they got some great reveals, and that is Ruby Steel. So first up is Denahi from Brother Bear. So Denahi is a inkable 3 cost that's a 3/2 reckless and resist +2. So this man is out here to challenge and not really take much damage, if any at all. And then if you've ever played Ruby Steel, you know that the deck focuses on challenging, and there's a lot of benefits to doing that. But now we are going back to Mulan. I cannot wait to upgrade my Mulan deck here. So first up, we have Mulan, Imperial General. She is a inkable 7 cost super rare. That's a 5/6 for 2 lore with evasive and shift 5, and has the ability that whenever this character challenges another character, your other characters gain. This character can challenge ready characters this turn. I think this is going to be so powerful in this deck. Obviously, I got to put it through the testing phase, but on paper and in practice, I do think that this is going to work. Again, you're probably only going to go 2-3 at most of this card, just because I will say from prior experience playing this deck that this color combination sometimes does have times getting to 7 ink. Even 5 can sometimes be tricky, 6 on the top end at most, because you go through your hand very quickly. Like, there's not a good draw engine in this deck. Yes, I know there's like Queen of Hearts and stuff, but that's kind of the one drawback of the deck a little bit. But I talked about in the initial video for Archazia's Island that there were in the artwork that there was Mushu. Of course, we knew Mushu was coming from the dividers in the Trove. And here is Mushu. Mushu Majestic Dragon is a rare inkable 5 cost 4/4 for 1 that has 2 effects. The first being whenever one of your characters challenges, they gain resist +2 during that challenge, and then during your turn, whenever one of your characters banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. I love the Robin Hood Champion Sherwood effect of gaining lore through challenging, and the resist +2 is that is chef's kiss. I've seen it talked about online. That's exactly what's going to happen. Mushu plus Calhoun. That Calhoun's not dying. It's going to take a lot to get rid of her, and she's definitely going to get through there. And then, of course, being a Robin Hood fanboy, the Blue Steel, Sapphire Steel. First up, Lady Cluck. So Lady Cluck here is inkable 5 cost 2/7 for 1. Has Ward and Bodyguard, pretty thick. And then the lovely Maid Marian is a super rare, inkable 4 cost 3/3 for 2, and she has 2 effects. First being, during an opponent's turn, whenever one of your allied characters is damaged, deal 1 damage to chosen opposing character. Well, Lady Cluck is an ally if you want to pair them together. And then her second ability, called Fair Play. Your characters named Lady Cluck gain resist +1. So obviously the Lady Cluck gaining resist +1 is so good for that bodyguard. Again, it's going to take a little bit extra effort to get her off the board. And then again, if she takes damage, then you can deal damage through the Maid Marian effect to a chosen damage character. So that is all the reveals. That was quite a bit to go through. As I said, I think I want to shake it up a bit instead of doing it by ink going forward. Is I want to wait for a lot of the other reveals to kind of wrap up, and then we're going to do it by franchise, because I got one of them right. We got Mushu, we got some other stuff right in the production video, and I want to see a little bit more, but I'm so happy with some of the newer franchises and even expanding the ones that we already have that we've talked about a little bit here in this video. But I'm very excited for this set. I love that the power level of this game and this set is increasing the overall power level of the game. But of course, let me know what you think and what you're looking forward to, and I'll see you next time. Bye. That's going to do it for today's video. Be sure to give me one of these. It's super impactful and helping this video find other Illuminaires such as yourself. If you like the Lorcana content here on the channel and you want to see more, tighten smash that subscribe button and click that bell so you get notified of when I upload new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Also, be sure to let me know down below what you thought of this video, and you can follow me on the artist formerly known as Twitter on X at lorcana Thanos, and I'm on Blue Sky as well at lorcana Thanos. Thanks for watching, and I think you might enjoy these. And remember, the hardest choices require the strongest wills.